Alright, now we're going to talk about Chapter 4, and this is the Chapter 4 project. Now in Chapter 3, we looked at how we were doing classes and using classes that were already created for us as part of the Java API. Here we're going to be looking at creating our own classes. And this is a problem statement for our example. It says the application will create 3 separate product classes that will then be used to create instances of a product which will be output. The user has no input at this time as they have to approve the final product before the user interface will be designed. That's so that we can test this class and make sure it's working before we allow the user to have input into it. The product class must provide for 3 class attributes. Now remember, the attributes describe the class. So for the product we have description, price, and product ID. The constructor will set the initial values of the attributes. And we're going to have methods in there that will allow all the class attributes to be read or set. In other words, we can change them during the program. And then we will have a method that will output all of the class attributes. If we come over here, you will see that there's actually 2 separate classes when you're working with something like this. The project must also have a driver class that will instantiate the class, set the values of the attributes in the class, and call the output method to display the information. Now, I know there are other ways to do this. But in order to understand how classes work, we're doing this exactly as I'm going to direct through here, and you'll see on the information. Now, I don't yet have the information, the data there. I will have it there shortly. And we're going to stop here. I'm going to pause here, and I'm going to bring up some documentation information, and I'll be right back. Now, as you can see, I have highlighted the nouns and the verbs in yellow and green the same way we've done before. So we're going to have this product class, all right, and we're going to create instances. We're going to work primarily with the attributes. Those attributes are description, price, and product ID. And then we're going to have a constructor. We're also going to have methods that work with the attributes and methods that will output the attributes. So all of these items will go in our IPO chart, our nouns and verbs too. Right? We're also going to have a driver class that will instantiate the class, set the values, call the output method to display the information. So what I've done here is I've highlighted this so we can go over here, go into Excel, and we can oops, that didn't work very well, did it? Okay, show open windows. There we go. That must not work with screen capture. Okay, sorry about that. All right, so I have a dual screen set up here, and I'm just going to pull that over here so I can see it. All right. Okay, so starting off here with our nouns and our verbs. All right, our nouns are product class, and then we're going to go description, price, product ID. We're going to have a constructor, and methods, and a driver class. And this helps us organize our thoughts as to what we need. So then when we go to verbs, we're going to create instances. We're going to set. We're going to read. We're going to output. We're going to instantiate. We're going to set, and we're going to call output and display. Okay, now realistically, if we look at an IPO chart for this, it's not going to be very big, because what we're doing here is not so much calculations and things like that. So I'm going to leave the IPO chart out for right now. And I'm going to go to the data dictionary. And the data dictionary, as we all know, is where we find our definitions for our information, so that we can tell what it is we're doing. And our data dictionary, as we know, consists of the variable name, the type, and the description. Okay. All right. So if we look at our nouns, all right, we're going to need the product class. So we're going to do a just product, because that's what we're going to call it, and the type is class, and its description will be class definition for product object, or class that defines